Of all the things to say about piracy, these ones are some of the weirdest. These pirates don't do it for game preservation. What do you mean? That's the reason why I pirate games, or at least one of the reasons. The real reason is because I am broke and I need the money to pay the bills. I know, pretty evil, right? They do it only to new releases and harass innocent people. No, they're not only doing it for new releases, they're doing it to everything! A lot of AAA games these days already have strong DRM protection, so it's really hard to do it for new releases. Some AAA games, like Split Fiction, don't even have DRMs. They got cracked on day one, fully playable online, and yet they still sell incredibly well. So well that it broke 3 Guinness World Records. It's actually the indies and the niche games that get cracked because they couldn't afford to contract with Denuvo, which is backwards if you ask me. Some of these niche publishers are really testing my patience on what they deem to be an acceptable price for a visual novel. $41, Koei Tecmo? And you wonder why people sell the Cs for your games. Also, harass innocent people? Who the hell are the pirates harassing? Your mom? It's no better than stealing from a local store. Yeah, you really have to work on your spelling there, bro. Ironically, I'm actually on the side that piracy is stealing, but I don't give a damn whether it's stealing or not because companies like Ubisoft exist and they quite literally take your games away. Companies are totally free to legally rip people off, but don't you dare make copies of their products for free. Don't you dare rip off these multi-billion-dollar corporations. Also, no, piracy is different to stealing from a local store because, in computer terms, piracy involves copying the product, not cutting the product. When you grow up and contribute to society, you'll understand piracy is theft. Yeah, and when you grow up and realize that game companies are ripping people off, you'll understand why people are sailing the seas. One of the things that I absolutely love about PC gaming, and also jailbroken console gaming, is the fact that you can sail the seas for the games and save that money to buy actually good hardware or pay the bills. But what about supporting developers? I wholeheartedly reject the notion that supporting the developers is the player's responsibility. That's actually a privilege that these developers have to earn with the products that they are offering. The same goes with YouTubers. I have to earn your viewership. I have to earn your willingness to donate to me. I can't stop people from using ad blockers. I use ad blockers too, but it's not people's fault they use ad blockers. It's the corporations for setting up garbage ads. It's not people's fault that they pirate. It's the corporations for setting up terrible prices for video games and ripping people off and getting away with it. You know who is responsible for the well-being of developers? The corporations. They're the ones that employ them in the first place. They're the ones that are responsible for their bills. And yet here we are living in times where games like Hi-Fi Rush can be very successful and you'll still get screwed. Don't screw them up, Krafton. Look at the insane amount of layoffs in the gaming industry as of late. It just tells me that the money that we gave to these corporations are not being used to support actual game developers. They're being used to buy 2 more cars for the suits at the top. I wish I was kidding. That's exactly what happened with the Bungie executives, as said by the developers that got laid off. Thankfully, video game piracy, or piracy in general, is something that requires a level of computer literacy that 99% of people don't have. 10 million pirates around the world is nothing compared to the 1 billion of media consumers who are still willing to pay to enjoy their media. Among those 1 billion media consumers, there will definitely be people who are willing to pay for consoles or game accessories, even if their prices are increasing and getting more and more ridiculous. There used to be a time where the justification for people to buy a console is because consoles are cheaper, but thanks to the price increase of the PlayStation 5 in certain regions, some of you might be glad that you got a PlayStation 5 way earlier than others. That, or you're glad that you're a PC gamer. The PlayStation 5 digital version rose to all sorts of prices in other countries, ranging from $530 to $572. UK is the one that screwed the most, so sorry to all the UK gamers out there. The disk driver module, however, is getting a decrease. It's still pretty expensive to upgrade, but at least the option is there. What about the Switch 2? Well, thankfully, the Switch 2 does not suffer price increases due to the tariffs and all that, but the same cannot be said for their accessories. They do get price increases. Some are tolerable, some are nonsensical. Seriously, $14 for a strap? So don't worry guys, Nintendo is not going to screw you in the butt. But they will, however, screw you in the face, so that is slightly less painful than having to clench your crack, but you'll still get a taste of their scrotum. At this point, If you haven't bought any of the modern consoles, if you still have your PS4s or Switch 1 or even something older than that, it's probably best to stick to them until the prices go down. Actually, I can say the same thing to PC gamers. Do you still have that 9-year-old HP laptop with an AMD A-series processor? It can play Half-Life and its expansion packs, so why even bother getting a new PC, right? Aside from PlayStation console prices rising, another thing that rose is the price of PlayStation Plus in certain regions that are not the US. I never understand why console gamers have to pay for online. I don't even play online. But I know plenty of gamers here that will go absolutely livid if they have to pay a subscription to play online. Most of them are playing free-to-play gacha games, so while they're not willing to pay for online, they are willing to pay for one more pull just to get their new waifu. The cost is offset by the considerably more expensive PC hardware. Yeah, no. PC hardware is not expensive, depending on the type of games that you're playing. But even so, look at those PlayStation Plus yearly plans and tell me with a straight face that you're willing to pay for that yearly. Online in PC gaming costs nothing, and you don't have to play the latest multiplayer titles. There are people that still play classic Counter-Strike, and if that's too old for you, Black Ops 2 runs well on almost anything with a decent GPU, and you can play online using the Plutonium project. There are plenty of under 1,000 builds that you can follow, and that early investment, in my opinion, is worth more than paying online for console games. Here's another thing that I love about PC gaming. You are not limited to just the latest games. There are so many amazing old games that you can play and totally have fun with that are still phenomenal even to this day. And yet here's another notion that I reject, that older games don't matter in current year. They are obsolete. They are no longer worth playing. Who the hell wants to play this 27-year-old game? I do. It's one of the best first-person shooters ever made, and arguably one of the best video games ever made. I can play this game on 99.99% of PCs or laptops that have been released in the past 10 years. You don't have to like everything from the old times. I can see why people might get turned off by these games and not want to play them, but at least acknowledge its impact to the gaming industry, to the gaming culture as a whole, and to the people who played them and absolutely loved them. For example, I'm not a fan of Halo. I played the single-player campaigns. I think they're just fine, but that doesn't mean the games are not worth playing, and that doesn't mean the games are not influential to the gaming culture as a whole. I played the PS2 version of Persona 4 a decade after the game came out, and before the golden version even came out on PC. If I didn't emulate the PS2 version and gave the game a chance, I wouldn't be a fan of the series. PC gaming is not about playing the latest games. It's about playing games on the PC. Any game, any PC. Even if you don't find older games appealing to you, at least acknowledge and respect their existence, their impact to the gaming industry, and that they are still fun to play for a lot of people, even to this day.
The game is fun. If it's not fun, why bother?
Unfortunately, the greatness of PC gaming still won't stop the console fanboys desecrating on their greatness. PC is not the master race of gaming, more like the lesser race. Wow, the lesser race? At least calling the console gamers peasants don't have any sorts of racism connotation. Okay, fine, PC master race is claimed by PC gamers, and that implies that console gamers are of lesser race, but the implication is more in the social status rather than race. Risk of malware via PC love of pirating. Now you're just spouting nonsense. There's so many guides and ways to pirate games these days. So many precautions and things to do before you sail your ships in the seas. If you caught malware along the way, it's less a PC issue and more of a you issue. Crappy ports. Yes, unfortunately, that applies to some games released today, but crappy ports are not forever, or at least not for modern titles. For anybody who's only interested in playing older games, it's never an issue at all. For most games. That said, some games really need to be improved. Like, seriously, where's that Saints Row 2 port? The worst controller ever! I'm sorry, what? The worst controller ever? Which controller are you talking about? The Steam controller? It's not a great controller, and so is the Logitech Submarine Stinkers, but you can just use pretty much any controller you like, because nearly all controllers being sold in the market are compatible with the PC. That's the one thing that I have to give the PlayStation 5 for. The DualSense is a phenomenal controller. Play something like Mega Man Zero on keyboard and only on keyboard. Wait, you mean the Mega Man Zero that was originally released on GBA, a portable game console that has a D-pad, 2 face buttons, and 2 shoulder buttons, and you're telling me that it's hard to play that game on a keyboard? Sounds like a skill issue to me.
The noob!
For context, the reason why this person brought it up as a challenge is because in Mega Man Zero, if you want to access your sub-weapon, you have to press R and B at the same time, which is admittedly a lot easier if you're using a controller, but clearly according to this person, pushing a button while holding another button on a keyboard is this insane impossibility that makes it way too hard. Here's another thing that console gamers value a lot, but PC gamers really don't. Console gamers really value their exclusives. Wonderful to see PC lose even more exclusives. You're celebrating something that literally none of us would be mad about. Console gamers playing our PC games is perfectly fine. It's not the same the other way around though. Even the very few exclusives PC has will of course never stay permanent. I literally have zero issues with that, and neither are many PC gamers. If a game that is exclusive on PC can now be played by more people, that's amazing. I want more people to be able to play Half-Life 2, but it's stuck on consoles from the last 2 generations. For the record, I'm not dissing console gamers for playing on consoles. There are many viewers of mine that don't even have a gaming PC. They play on PlayStation or even an Xbox. I am dissing console fanboys like you for making dumb takes like this. PC is a platform for losers! Yeah, right. PC is a platform for losers. It's not like the greatness that was PlayStation, where you have to pay for everything. It can only support multi-platform games, much like Xbox. Yeah, it plays games. I know. Shocking concept, right? Is that something that your precious PlayStation console can do? And that's all for the video today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to the end, here's a cat. Before we close this video, huge thanks to all these wonderful sponsors. You are all fantastic. If you want to see your name among these legends, then check out the links below, just $1. And you have supported this channel a lot. Seriously, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.